Hello everybody, it's Sakey here, Wake Up New Zealand, and today I want to talk about that dreaded climate change, particularly climate change that's being taught in our schools in New Zealand. So it's time for us to wake up and for the parents and grandparents to start talking with our children and getting some sort of debate going about this climate change. So politicians and pro-climate activists control the minds of children in our schools through our education system, and it's being well encouraged into New Zealand. So what we have, our children are our present and our future. So it allows and encourages children not to respect their elders, their parents, their grandparents. There is a conflict that's going on between them and the children as these children are being indoctrinated and brainwashed at schools. The children are standing up with their placards shouting out climate change emergency, they're being encouraged to blame their parents and everyone else gone before about today's climate, where the sky is about to fall in and the seas are about to rise and gobble us all up. So us older people and those gone before are now, in these children's minds, the blame for all the wrongdoings of the world. This is a purposeful rise of the new green religion, dictated by the global one world government, the United Nations. The political puppets we have here in New Zealand, the Ardern's, whatever you want to call her, and I call her many things and I will not mention it here, otherwise I may get knocked off of YouTube, off of Facebook, so we'll keep it clean. So the political puppets we have here in New Zealand, the Ardern's, the Twitverts, the socialist communist agenda is the power and control over all. That's what it's all about, and it starts with our children, the young and the vulnerable. So whilst we keep hearing these labels, far right, far left, and anyone who opposes Ardern's government are given Nazi labels, anyone who is leftist, socialist, are rewarded, anyone who's middle right or anything right are seen as Nazis, labelled white supremacists and Nazis. Well, this is rather strange because Hitler and the Nazi movement were actually national socialists. So they were dictated. They were dictators. And they loved the Islamic ideology. They made friends with the Muslims, the Nazis. Look at your history books. The Nazi Aryan children, brainwashed, indoctrinated into Nazism. I mean, the schools here are brainwashing and indoctrinating our children into the new green religion. Into the minds of children, that's what the UN say, and they admit they have touched the minds of many children around the world. United Nations Telecommunications are currently planning AI, artificial intelligence, into our schools. They're mind-fucking our children. Of course, the government wants to control our schools, and the curriculum, hence the new government's educational school hubs that we're hearing about now, they're everywhere. The government have changed things so that they have control over the complete curriculum in our schools in New Zealand. They are teaching an eco-activism. The man-made climate change has taken its place in our schools. No one can control the world climate, kids. Nature has its way. Children are taught under a socialist, communist regime in New Zealand. And what children are taught, they take with them through their lives. This is our present generation. This is our future generation. The government know what they're doing. They are the dominant power. And they're using our children's minds. So their dominant power remains. We need to bring back charter schools, creativeness, individual uniqueness. Not all thinking collectively the same. We used to tell our children, wow, you're individually unique. Every child is individually unique. They're not collective robots. We need to show them how to think, not what to think. The education department, the schools need to get on with teaching our kids, not brainwashing and indoctrinating them into climate change activists. Unfortunately, the schools rely on the government for funding. So it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? The United Nations, it has an educational hub in Auckland. It has charitable status, and it is used by teachers to teach our children climate change. They have climate change projects, textbooks, reading material, writing material. Man-made global warming lies. And along with that is this political, eco-active learning. So now you have children in schools being told that it's okay to tell lies because the teacher is telling them lies, and adults who are telling the truth are getting persecuted. The truth tellers in New Zealand and elsewhere throughout the world are being persecuted. So the state education system is moulding our children to be collectively the same. The dominant socialist communists are ruling our children. Sadly, I say, these children are going to continue to hold their banners, to shout out climate change, throw teddy tantrums, scream, and act like spoiled brats, because this is what they've been taught to do. This is what they've been brainwashed to do in our schools and encouraged to do this. They are encouraged to all be like little Gretas. You've got children who are demanding parents and grandparents to believe in this propaganda, and if they don't, it's causing much friction in families. Yes, these children have had their minds fucked up by the education system of New Zealand, the UN puppets. And remember, the mind tells the body what to do. It's the thought pattern, feelings, thought, mind, brain, all connected. With that, you get the action. So, it's going to get worse. We've now got the talk of artificial intelligence coming into our schools from preschool upwards. The International Telecommunications UN are planning this, and New Zealand will go along with it. So that's another concern, because getting into the mind, thinking and feeling, that's what drives the brain to act. So all these misleading materials, resources, teaching materials on climate change, same all over the world. We have to stop it. And it's only us parents, us grandparents, who can do that. We need to get our children talking at home. We need to show them what it's like to have healthy debate. We need to listen to what they're saying so they in turn can hear what we are saying. We mustn't do what the schools are doing. They are telling them how to think. We must ask them and encourage them to do their own thinking. Right now, eco-activism is being given freely in schools. It's got a free rein. Children are being encouraged to attend climate change rallies instead of doing real education, being in school. The children are being scammed by scare tactics, rising fears. The seas are going to swallow them up. You're going to die a terrible death, and you've only got 12 years. Why would kids look to the future and think of qualifications if they're told they only have 12 years to live? Surely, wouldn't they give up hope and give up faith? You know, this is ridiculous. We've even got adult women overseas, or perhaps even in New Zealand here, who won't have any more children because we've only got 12 more years left on this earth because of climate change. Imagine what's going through these kids' heads. It's nightmare stuff. Suicide rates are high now. Think of the mental and emotional abuse that is going on with this climate change propaganda in our schools. So, let's look out, people. When you hear this word, sustainability, transparency, remember, sustainability is a catchword. And transparency, just reverse it, because nothing is damn transparent. We need to start thinking about our kids, because they are being brainwashed and indoctrinated, and it's no good for their mental and emotional health. Suicide rates will rise. They've got nothing to live for if they're told that they've only got 12 years on this earth. You know, we're going to die anyway. Can you see that going through these kids' heads? We're going to die anyway, so why do it? It's a hopeless sort of situation. That's the sort of situation that does cause suicides. So there is a high risk of increased suicide in New Zealand because of this scaremongering, man-made climate change teaching in our schools. So parents, grandparents, it's up to you. We need to do something about this. We need to talk to our schools. We need to pull our kids even out of school at that time they're being taught that. Refuse for them to have that lesson. I don't know what you can do. My children are all grown up now, but I don't back down when it comes to this, and nor should you. But we can't dictate to them. We must encourage them into healthy debate. Thank you, people.